Black Friday sales have already started on the eShop with some really good deals. For today's video, I'll be kicking off my Black Friday deals coverage by focusing on a bunch of retro games, game collections, and some new games too, from two different publishers. The first being NN Games, who has many games on sale for under $5. And then the other publisher I'll be talking about today is Capcom and their Black Friday sale. It's the holiday deal season, my friends, so let's dive into it. Jitsu Squad is a really fun game that combines beat-em-up gameplay with many elements of fighting games. Attacks, moves, and combos in this game can be performed with typical fighting game style inputs, as well as you can tag out with other fighters to perform additional combos. There's a nice amount of depth to the gameplay versus other beat-em-up games out there. This is a really fast beat 'em up, it's got lots of style, visually it looks great, it also has a really nice soundtrack, it has support for up to 4-player local co-op, and more importantly, it is just a blast to play. It's on sale for its biggest discount yet on the eShop during this Black Friday sale. It's got a discount of 85% off, which means it's just $4.49 on the US eShop. It's a no-brainer at that price for anyone who likes beat 'em ups. Cotton Fantasy is the newest game in the Cotton Shoot 'em Up series, and it just might be the best game yet. This game has a lot of replayability. This time around, in addition to Cotton herself and her classic magical powers, there's a bunch of other characters you can play as, each with their own unique shots and gameplay mechanics. Additionally, you can choose your own path through various stages each time you play, and there's new stages that you can unlock as you progress. This shoot 'em up is a blast to play, and at 92% off on the eShop, I consider this one a no-brainer for those who want a good shoot 'em up game on Switch at a dirt cheap price. At $3.19 on the US eShop, it's a freaking steal. The Ninja Saviors: Return of the Warriors is a remaster of the Super Nintendo title that was a sequel to the classic Taito arcade game. Just like the arcade game, it is a side-scrolling beat-em-up. This one expands a bit on the formula, with a more varied moveset for each of the characters, as well as a bigger variety of enemies to face off against, and more varied environments to play through. In short, it's a sequel that improves upon everything from the first game. The remaster looks great with the new visuals, it adds new characters to unlock, and it further expands on each character's moveset. Plus, it adds difficulty options and a new soundtrack to boot. Oh, and it does have 2-player local co-op. It's always a plus. This is a great remaster. It's on sale for 70% off, which means it's just $5.99 on the US eShop. Shadow of the Ninja: Reborn is a remake of the classic NES game Natsume, and it's really freaking good. While Ninja Gaiden is the ninja game that gets most remembered from that 8-bit era, the NES original of Shadow of the Ninja was just as good with some tight gameplay that is challenging, yes, but oh so much fun. Plus, you can play with another person in co-op play. The remake retains the classic gameplay for the most part, but it now sports a new 16-bit graphics art style that looks really good, and the soundtrack has been completely redone with contributions by the original composer. Additionally, this remake features an entirely new stage to play through too. Right now it's on sale for 50% off on the eShop. It's $9.99 on the US eShop until December 7th. There's a number of retro releases from publisher NN Games that are on sale for $3 or less on the eShop. The port of Cotton 100%, the Super Famicom entry in the Cotton series, is on sale for just $1.99. $2 is a good deal for a solid 16-bit shoot 'em up. Panorama Cotton is also $1.99. This was a rail shooter for the Sega Mega Drive. This was actually a pretty impressive game for the console with its use of its 3D effect. Clockwork Aquario is $1.99 as well. This arcade game, originally developed by Redstone, the developer who worked on many of the Wonder Boy games, was originally supposed to release back in 1993, but the game got shelved for many years. After 28 years, this game was restored to a completed state for modern consoles. It's a pretty fun platformer that's totally worth throwing $2 at. Ultracore is $1.99 on the US eShop. This run-and-gun game was developed by DICE, yes, of Battlefield fame, and this was originally supposed to come out in 1994, but it was shelved, sorta like Clockwork Aquario, with the Mega Drive version finally getting released in 2019. And that's pretty much the version that we have here. Its gameplay is similar to the Turrican games, which I'll be talking about very shortly here. Puzzle Bobble / Bust-A-Move, the 16-bit console version, is $2.79 on the US eShop. This contains the Super Nintendo and Super Famicom ports of the classic puzzle game. Cannon Dancer, otherwise known as Osman, is $2.99 on the US eShop, a big discount from its MSRP. The gameplay in this one is similar to Capcom's arcade game Strider. In fact, many ex-Capcom employees worked on this one, and it was pretty much designed to be a sequel to that game, just not in name. This is very good, and it never got a console port until very recently. Ninja JaJaMaru, The Great Yokai Battle Plus Hell Deluxe Edition is a collection of 6 games. It contains the newest game in the series, Ninja JaJaMaru, The Great Yokai Battle, with its Plus Hell update, which is a fun, modern arcade-style game, as well as a retro collection that contains a number of classic games. The retro games included are Ninja JaJaMaru-kun from the Famicom, Ninja JaJaMaru's Big Adventure, also from the Famicom, Ninja JaJaMaru's Operation Milky Way, which is a Famicom game that sort of plays like Super Mario Bros. 3, Super Ninja Kid from the Super Nintendo, and Ninja JaJaMaru, The Great World Adventure for the Game Boy, along with a brand new colored DX version of that. All the games here are fully playable in English. The bundle is only $2.99 on the eShop, and that's a pretty insane deal. It's a no-brainer to pick up in the sale if you like retro games. Additionally, there's a smaller retro collection of the Ninja JaJaMaru RPGs called the Lost RPGs. This contains 2 games, Ninja JaJaMaru, the Ninja Skill Book, a more traditional, almost Dragon Quest style game, and Ninja JaJaMaru, The Legend of the Golden Castle, which is a mostly action RPG style game, with some 2D Zelda-like gameplay elements. The games in this collection have been fully translated into English for the first time ever. It's on sale for $2.99 on the US eShop until December 7th. Space Invaders Forever contains 3 of the more modern releases in the Space Invaders series. It has Space Invaders Gigamax for SE, which is an up to 4-player multiplayer game where you team up with others to take down the invaders. It also has Arkanoid vs. Space Invaders, which combines elements of both arcade classics in a fun, eclectic game. And finally, it includes the very awesome Space Invaders Extreme, which is included here in a HD remastered release of sorts. Space Invaders Extreme takes the Space Invaders classic gameplay and dials it up to 11, with lots of fast-paced action, power-ups to obtain, boss battles, and much more. Space Invaders Forever is on sale for a big discount of 80% off. At $5.99, it's a good deal for this collection. Hell, it's worth it for Space Invaders Extreme alone. Now, it is worth mentioning that if you want a more complete Space Invaders collection, there is the Space Invaders Invincible collection, which includes these 3 games, plus the black and white and color versions of Space Invaders. Space Invaders Part 2, Space Invaders Part 4, Super Space Invaders 91, Lunar Rescue, Space Cyclone, and Space Invaders DX. I feel it's a bit pricey though, in my view, even with it being discounted to $17.99 on the eShop. Unless you're really into those older games, I feel the Space Invaders Forever collection is the much better deal. While the Turrican Flashback collection is on sale for cheap for Black Friday on the eShop, my recommendation is if you're going to get the Turrican games on Switch, is to go with the Turrican Anthology game collections. Between the 2 collections, you're getting more games and access to more ports, instead of just 4 games in the Flashback collection, as well as more features, including lots of quality of life features, like in-game maps, the ability to zoom out and view the entirety of each game stage at once, multiple control schemes to choose from, including ones that take advantage of modern controllers, cheats, as well as it includes neat bonuses like multiple variations of each game's soundtrack, visual options for each game, and complete scans of each game's manual, including multiple regions, not just the manuals from the North American region. These collections have a lot of stuff, and these collections are also the best ways to play these games in the modern era. If you're a Turrican fan, consider these anthology collections a must-own. Turrican Anthology Volume 1 has the Amiga versions of Turrican 1 and Turrican 2, as well as Super Turrican from the Super Nintendo, and the Director's Cut version of that. It also has the Score Attack version of Mega Turrican from the Sega Mega Drive. Turrican Anthology Volume 2 has the Amiga version of Turrican 3, Mega Turrican from the Sega Mega Drive, and the Director's Cut version of that, as well as Super Turrican 2 from the Super Nintendo, and the Score Attack version of Super Turrican. Turrican Anthology collections are on sale for 80% off, which is their biggest discount yet on the eShop. That means both volumes are just $6.99 each on the US eShop. Spelunker HD Deluxe is a remake of the classic 8-bit game. The gameplay of Spelunker is simple. Players must navigate caves while dealing with or avoiding enemies like bats and ghosts, as well as avoiding traps and other dangers while trying to secure lots and lots of treasure. The remake features new graphics, of course, but also includes multiplayer with local play supporting up to 4 players and online play supporting up to 6 players, which is a neat addition. Beyond that, it includes multiple different modes: Adventure Mode, Competition Mode, Championship Mode, and the random, aka Roguelite mode called Infinite Cave Neo. You can also switch to the classic 8-bit graphics at any time you wish. For $2.99, 88% off on the US eShop, I think this is a no-brainer if you like classic, challenging games. There's a lot of content here for the price. The discounted price is also the cheapest this game has ever been on the eShop. Rainbow Cotton on Switch is a HD remaster of this Sega Dreamcast game, which is something I never thought would happen. This is a 3D rail shooter, a sequel of sorts to Panorama Cotton for the Sega Mega Drive. This release here features a full English localization for the first time ever, with graphic enhancements, enhanced controls, and a 2-player mode too. It's on sale for its biggest discount yet on the eShop, 75% off until December 7th, which means it's just $4.99 on the US eShop. I reviewed this game on the channel some time back, and I got a link there in the top corner of this video for those who want to check it out. Over Horizon, Steel Empire is a retro collection that has 3 notable shoot-em-ups from yesteryear. Over Horizon for the NES, which is one of the very best 8-bit shooters ever. The top-notch sequel, Steel Empire for the Sega Mega Drive, as well as the Game Boy Advance version of Steel Empire. This collection doesn't go on sale too often, but it's finally on sale again, and the sale it has features a good-sized discount, 40% off for the first time ever. It's $8.99 on the US eShop. The first 2 Irem collections are on sale for their biggest discount yet, 60% off, which means both collections are on sale for $9.99 on the US eShop. The first collection contains the shoot-em-ups Image Fight with its arcade, NES, and PC Engine versions represented in the collection. It also has the PC Engine CD version of Image Fight 2, as well as the arcade version of the game X Multiply. The second collection has both the arcade and Super Nintendo versions of Gun Force, as well as the arcade game Gun Force 2. Both games are run-and-gun style games. The final game in the second collection is the vertical shooter Air Duel. While I'm not a big fan of the first collection, I personally do not care for the Image Fight games. The second collection I can definitely vouch for, especially for the simple fact that it includes Gun Force 2, a really awesome arcade game that is similar in style to the Metal Slug games. In fact, most of the developers that made that game went on to form the Nazca Corporation, a game developer who developed many of the Metal Slug arcade games. Feel free to check out my review of the second collection on the channel, where I dive into each games of that collection, and you should see a link to that in the top corner of this video. Bubble for Friends, The Baron is Back is a pretty solid entry in the Bubble series. You can play alone or together with up to 3 other people in local co-op as you jump, blow bubbles, and pop them through 200 new stages in total. That's a lot of stages. Also included is the original arcade game as a neat bonus. It's on sale for its biggest discount yet of 70% off. It's $11.99 on the US eShop. I'm a big fan of the Puzzle Bobble series, probably a bigger fan than most. I've played most of the games in the series, and I can say for the most part, the 90s era was the best era for the series. Sadly, for the longest time, most of the newer entries in the series have not done well or been up to snuff. Puzzle Bobble Everybubble is any exception to that. It's a really good, modern entry in the series, where the gameplay is just as good as those earlier entries. It's a bit of a return to form. It's got a nice amount of content too, with a good sized story mode, multiple multiplayer modes for both local and online play, including co-op options, as well as multiple costumes and characters to obtain, and it has a really fun bonus game called Space Invaders vs Puzzle Bobble, which can be played with other people as well. If you're a fan of Puzzle Bobble, or just looking for a good puzzle game for Switch, then you should consider this a must-own. The sale has it marked down to $19.99 on the US eShop. Now let's look at the highlights of some stuff Capcom has on sale for Black Friday on the eShop. Ghost Trick Phantom Detective is an HD remaster of a DS game of the same name, where you play as a recently deceased detective who must use his ghostly powers to interact with objects, as well as save people too, all while trying to recover his memories, as well as trying to figure out why he died in the first place. The gameplay in this one is broken up between 2 parts. First half has you gathering clues, somewhat similar in a way to the Ace Attorney series, and the other part has you saving lives through your actions and solving puzzles with his ghostly powers. The Switch version here has remastered visuals, a remastered soundtrack, as well as adds new bonus features like a gallery mode. This was a great game on the DS that was kinda under the radar when it got released back then, but I'm so happy they brought it back for more people to experience through this HD remaster. If you like mystery games, puzzle games too, then check this one out. It has a demo in the eShop too that I highly encourage you to download and check out. It's on sale for its biggest discount yet of 67% off on the US eShop. That means it's just $9.99 now on the US eShop. The Ace Attorney Anthology bundle contains 2 collections in one. The Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy, which has the first 3 Ace Attorney games, as well as it contains Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy, which contains the later 3 games in the main series. The Anthology collection is on sale for $26.99 on the US eShop. Both collections are terrific, and with this deal, you're basically getting both collections for less than what one collection would typically go for. The Capcom Fighting Collection 1+2 bundle is an excellent bundle of 2 awesome fighting game collections. The first Capcom collection contains 5 games in the Darkstalkers/Vampire Slayers series, as well as it contains Hyper Street Fighter 2, the Anniversary Edition, Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, Super Gem Fighter Mini-Mix, Cyberbots, Full Metal Madness, and Red Earth. The second collection has Capcom vs SNK 2, Mark of the Millennium 2001, which that game alone is worth the price of admission in many fighting game fans' eyes. But it also contains Capcom vs SNK Millennium Fight 2000 Pro, Street Fighter Alpha 3 Upper, both Power Stone games 1 and 2, Project Justice, Plasma Sword, and finally it contains Capcom Fighting Evolution, which that last game, it kinda stinks. But that's fine, because the rest of the games are freaking awesome, they're worth getting. You're getting a tremendous value with this bundle, with all the games included. Plus it has achievements to unlock, online multiplayer, training modes, gallery, museum stuff, and all that. The bundle is on sale for 55% off, which means it's less than $40 on the US eShop. For fans of the Street Fighter games, there is the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection, which contains 12 games, from the very first Street Fighter to the various Street Fighter 2 entries, and the Super Street Fighter 2 versions, as well as it includes the Street Fighter Alpha games, and the Street Fighter 3 games. it's just $9.99 on the US eShop via the Black Friday sale. Kunitsu-Gami, Path of the Goddess for the Switch 2 is an action strategy game where players take control of So, a warrior tasked to protect a divine maiden named Yoshiro, who must purge and cleanse villages of quote-unquote defilement as well as bring peace to Mount Kafuku. The gameplay in this one is a mix of real-time strategy and tower defense gameplay. During the day, So must explore and rescue villages, while also setting up contraptions for use at night. At night, evil spirits, called the Seethe, will invade villages, and as So, the player will need to ally with saved villagers in order to defend against the attacks from the Seethe. Players can strategically place villagers in positions to defend the village, as well as assign them with different roles to aid in the defense. Additionally, players can equip So and the villagers with masks to grant them divine powers. It gets its first sale on the eShop 25% off, which means it's $29.99 on the US eShop. A pretty good discount for a rather new Switch 2 game. Finally of note, I do want to point out that Capcom has its 99-cent sale for the Capcom Arcade Stadium apps going again for Black Friday. There's a ton of arcade games available for each app to choose from. This is good if you just want a few of these games, but if you find yourself going through each app's list and seeing a lot of games that you like, then it's best to hold off for the bundle sale, which should be going live again sometime before or during the Christmas holiday. Additionally, a lot of the fighting games in this collection are available in the Capcom Fighting Game Collection, so be aware of that if you don't want to double dip. And there you go, lots of good games, retro stuff, new stuff, game collections, and more on sale, with quite a few of these being steals at their Black Friday sale prices. Anyway, stay tuned for more Black Friday sale coverage. I'll be going over more sales and deals over the upcoming days, so make sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on so you do not miss out on that. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you soon on the next video.